Good morning, and thanks so much for staying there. This is +275 from the Election Command Center. My name is Bright, and this morning we're staying in the Greater Accra region, precisely the Ablekuma South constituency, and that's where we're coming to you from. It's some days to December 7, and candidates are really working hard at convincing you to vote for them. This morning, some candidate from that constituency will convince you as to why they are the best to represent that constituency in Parliament. That constituency is located around Greater Accra region. We can talk about Kolegono, you can talk about parts of Choko, Lantemami. Those areas fall under the Ablekuma South constituency. We'll talk more about that later on. Let me tell you who the guests are and why they think they are the best to represent the constituency. From the camp of the NDP, he says the party is ready to take up the reins of government, and they are starting from that constituency to win it and represent the people there. I'm talking about Pastor Goodman Ba of the NDP. Pastor Ba, good morning, and hope you're doing good. Now, how are the people of Ablekuma South receiving you? I'm sure your campaign is already on. What is the response?
It's a positive one by the grace of God, but because what we have, it's simply practical, just to make sure they are helped in every aspect of their lives. And we cannot talk about what you call the pieces without connecting them to their presidential aspirants.
Right.
If you detach the PC from its presidential aspirant, it's just like you're not ready to make things work. So it's just that we have in NDP a very vibrant woman, a very practical one, a woman with track record in the person of Excellency Nana Konedu Ajiman Rawlings. And with experiential knowledge, we are so much convinced that same thing can be transported and translated into good governance within the Ablekuma South constituency.
All right. I'm grateful. Pastor Goodman Ba is representing the NDP in that constituency. Now, from the camp of the NPP, as a lawyer, the party says change is coming, and it is starting from the Ablekuma South constituency. Lawyer Jerry Ahmed Shaib is here, and he is representing the NPP in the Ablekuma South constituency. Lawyer Shaib, good morning, and thanks to you for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
And what is the response from your campaign trips? How are the people receiving you?
Very positive. We are out there to get our message of change, our message of hope to the people of Ablekuma South and the Ghanaian people. We just want them to understand that the 8 years of NDC from 2008 to 2016 has been a total failure. And this is the time for change. There is no reason for anybody to think that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama must still be the President of the Republic of Ghana after December 7th. Neither should there be a reason for anybody to think that their candidate in Ablekuma South, Honorable Kovandapwe, should remain a force in any political sphere in Ghana, and especially or specifically in Ablekuma South.
All right. Jerry, I'm grateful for your time this morning. Unfortunately, Dr. Oko Vanderpoel declined to be part of the conversation this morning. We're grateful for you there. Gentlemen, it's a battle of ideas. Give yourselves a handshake as a show of unity ahead of 2016. That's what we're preaching here at Election Command Center. We are the specialists. Let's start right away with Pastor Goodman Ba from the NDP. Pastor Ba, now you do a diagnosis of what is wrong with Ablekuma South constituency and why you think you are the best person to represent the people on the ticket of the NDP. In 2 minutes, you can deal with this.
Yeah, Ablekuma South, as it is, can never be said to be a problem-free constituency. Because I must say categorically that it is the dwellers that constitute the constituency, it's not the structures. And as human as we are, we have problems one way or the other. And most of the problems that we find ourselves even solving, sometimes if we're not careful, it resurfaces with its ugly faces. So what we're looking at now, it's first and foremost, because Ablekuma South has its own share of coastal dwellers, you can't rule out the possibility of fishing activities as well as fishmongering and fish selling. And if we're talking about that's what they call these fishing activities, then the issue of outboard motors, the availability of it and how moderate it will be to the fishermen, as well as the premise fuel. It's just unfortunate that we have this government who has adopted something into what they call our petroleum system, be it this deregulation system, or they call it automatic price adjustment. And I must clearly say, for that reason, it's also affecting the fisher force adversely. Because at the end of the day, if this government promises Ghanaians that when this petroleum at the world market is increased, and it will increase it accordingly, and when it's reduced, it's going to do the same thing. But it's just unfortunate. It's more or less like Anansi's story. It increases it quickly. When it's reduced, nothing like that. So it's also a problem with the fisher force. The premise fuel is also affected in the same vein. And the nature of their work, there are times they go to fishing and not all the time there's this bounty, what they call catches. So buying the premise fuel is headache.
30 more seconds.
And we are so much convinced that in the NDP, with the experience of our presidential candidates, is going to collaborate with his PCs, a member of parliament, if God willing. And the issue of this price adjustment thing will be looked at carefully. And also we will be able to manage by the experience and the track record of our presidential aspirants, Nana Konedu. We're going to manage the situation in such a way that even the prices of outboard motors
10 seconds
will be handled in a way, there can be subsidies in a way, and also there will be an accessible loans to enable them purchase.
4.
To enable them do their work
3.
without any difficulty whatsoever.
Pastor Ba, I'm grateful for your time this morning. Pastor Ba is representing the NDP in the Ablekuma South constituency. Let's move on to lawyer Jerry Ahmed Shaib. Now, you are representing the NPP. Now, Pastor Ba has diagnosed premixed fuel and then the availability of outboard motors as a key indicator of how development has got into Ablekuma South and the challenges that fishermen and folks are facing as a result of that. Now, for you, what do you see as a key challenge of the people of Ablekuma South, and how do you intend to address them if you get the mandate to lead them to Parliament? 2 minutes, you can start now.
I was thinking that you were going to ask me a similar question, first of all, because...
you can react to it if you want to.
Yes, first of all,
right,
I just want you to appreciate the fact that I was born and bred in Ablekuma South. I was born in Choco, precisely. I was born at an Alabi maternity home. Sometime 1976, and I was baptized in Choco. The church is called the Choco Presbyterian Church, Calvary Congregation. I have grown. I've had all my basic education. I went to the neighborhood center. I went to Premier International. I went to Shalom Shalom. I went to the Martyrs of Uganda, all in Mampobi and Kolegono. All throughout these stages, I have been with the people. I appreciate their problems, they appreciate mine. We've been together throughout these stages up to this level. And right, you see, it would amaze you, or you'll be surprised that the problem in Ablekuma South is there. There is so much poverty. Poverty as a result of several leaders we've had over the period. The kind of things we go through, education, it's a major problem. You see people within the ages of 14 and 16, and they are not in school because there is no one to sort of help them, assist them with schooling. And you see most of them going fishing, and it's because they have no job apart from fishing. So the major source of employment in Ablekuma South, like my brother rightly put it, is fishing. So you have the fishermen and the fishmongers. But you see, even with these people, they are not getting the requisite support and logistics. So all they do is that they go fishing, and they come back, first of all, with a major problem, which is that they are always confronted with lighting. And these are major stakeholders in the fishing industry who are performing this.
The use of light in fishing. That's
yes,
what
the lighting fishing. They go, and all they get to do is that.
Jerry, you're suggesting that apart from the inadequate outboard motors and the fact that they cannot buy premix, when they're able to get premix and go fishing, the use of lighting is a problem for them.
It's a major problem for the people of Choco and Kolegon. In Kolegon, we have this group called the Blue. In Choco, we have several of them. We have Alabotum. All these guys, they go fishing. And trust me, their major problem is that they are confronted with some sort of lighting that they have never seen. So instead of even trying to get some fish and come back home, they come back with plastic bags and plastic bottles. And this is also as a result of the poor sanitation problems. Sanitation in and around Choco and its environs towards Kolegon or the coastal area. The beaches is unheard of. And you even wonder why we have a city mayor. It is, listen, it's terrible. And you see, for me to even come and sit here and tell you this, it tells you that there's so much with regards to failure. On the side of the mayor, constantly what we see is that there is somebody who is only interested in holding on to power whilst the people suffer. If you go to Choco, you see garbage that you have never seen. Just walk down to Chemwena, and then there is a big drain. And sometimes I blame you guys because you see, I think that your interest has not been so much on sanitation matters. Go to Chemwena. The whole Chemu drain, which was funded under the African Development Bank, that was acquired through President Kufuor, right? Which was built. It was started by Professor Mills. Go and see what's happening. The whole drain is choked. It's overwhelmed with filth and squalor.
Jerry, I'll give you one more minute because you have identified the use of lighting in fishing. You've also identified sanitation as key challenges. One more minute for you. How do you intend to deal with this when you get the mandate of the people? And they're watching and listening to you.
Right. I have an advantage of being a lawyer. I know that one of the major things to do in parliament is to make laws. I know that the making of the law is one and the enforcement of the law is another. My major stake is to ensure that my people in Choco and Kolegono who are fishing, and in fact, along the coastal areas, when you go to Dodo and all of that, they should enjoy fishing and making some revenue out of it. They should go and come back with bumper harvest. They shouldn't go and be confronted with Chinese men and women. And to the extent that even some major stakeholders who are in government are owning some of these fishing companies. And they provide them with this lighting fishing. One of the things I intend to also do is to encourage beach soccer. You may not think it's very relevant, but guess what?
30 seconds.
If you go to La, they are playing beach soccer. And you know what it means? It means that those fields that you see around, this sachet water, the plastic bags and all of that, you won't see around the beaches. So when they go, they won't end up what? Instead of catching fish, they won't end up catching plastic bags and bottles. That is what, God willing, when we are voted into power.
Right.
When Nana Addo is made president of the Republic of Ghana, who has so much love and respect for the fisher folks. He won't go and when it is only time for election, give them outboard motors free of charge.
5 seconds.
But he is going to ensure that they get the necessary logistics and funding. and give them a landing beach and a sea defense for them to have
Lawyer
the best of.
Jerry Ahmed Shaib is representing the NPP in the Ablekuma South constituency. Pastor Goodman Bar is representing the NDP in the same constituency. They're asking for your mandate ahead of December 7, and this is from the Election Command Center. Pastor Bar, let's move on. Of course, we have identified these challenges, and we've also told those who are watching us how we intend to deal with them, given the mandate. Now, let's come to the issue of education in Ablekuma South. What is the level of education? What are the challenges there? And again, what you intend to do if given the mandate?
If we're still talking about Ablekuma South and we're trying to relate it to education, with NDP as a party, I can boldly say there are successes that has been chopped already by 31st December women, what you call group. There has been a school there already, and we have adopted further strategies and plans just to make sure we still reinforce or enroll more children into the school that is built over there. Notwithstanding, as of 2006 to 2010, there was even a program like that, and an NGO. We collaborated with an NGO, and we enrolled close to 600 what you call needy but brilliant children into school. And aside that, the reason for that is so simple. This teenage pregnancy, just to curtail it in a way, because normally when they have something to do, they get themselves occupied with something, they shirk away from those unfortunate incidents, because there's no way a teenage mother could be able to impart anything to a child that she has given birth to. So as 31st December women, the one that championed it and the one that has the capability and is still our presidential aspirant, and we are collaborating with him on different issues just to revamp the 31st December Women's School that is already in existence within the Ablekuma South constituency.
I'm grateful, Pastor Ba, for your time there. Pastor Ba has represented the NDP in the Ablekuma South constituency. Lawyer Jerry Shaib, let me come to you. The issue of education is key, and you have spoken about poverty and the fact that there's a need to eradicate it. Now, how key is education in your attempt at reducing poverty if given the mandate to lead Ablekuma South?
By God's grace, I have gone through some sort of schooling. This education that I had, I've been able to acquire a Master of Arts. I progressed to do a Master of Philosophy, and I have also done a Master's in Business Administration. Now, as I sit here, I did not get this support or facilities through my own resources. I had, for instance, before I would get into secondary school, my first secondary school, my mother was not in Ghana. It was my auntie that paid my school fees for me. My first degree, second degree, and those other degrees, I had people supporting me. Now, if you come to Ablekuma South, issues of education is more terrible. It's because the people are not having the necessary logistics to pursue or prosecute their agenda. So since 2008, 2009, I've had what I call the Jerry Power Educational Scheme. The Jerry Power Educational Scheme does one thing, and this is going to support or going to continue from where the MPP's agenda of free SHS is. See, we are talking about free SHS because we are looking at, okay, let's get each and every person to have some sort of secondary education. But Jerry thinks that after the secondary education, anybody within Ablekuma South who is brilliant but needy can prosecute or proceed to have a tertiary education. Now, how do you do that? You can do that by securing a scholarship from the Jerry Power Educational Scheme. The scheme has been running for the past 4 years or more. And what the scheme does is that anybody who has passed his or SHS very well but lacks the necessary resources to proceed to a tertiary institution. That is government assisted. It's supported by the scheme. And what we do is to pay for only your tuition fees. This is the basic requirement. Pass and pass very well. Let it be a government assisted institution. That is a tertiary one. Then we pay for your what? We pay for your tuition fees. Now, besides that, we also think that when Honorable Stanley Niaji Blancy was the mayor of Accra, he had intentions or plans to have a Kolegono secondary school. If you come to Kolegono, which is part of one of my areas, we, through the New Patriotic Party, and me as the member of parliament in Ablekuma South, we intend to put up what we call what? The Kolegono Vocational Technical and Training Institute. The Kolegono Vocational Technical and Training Institute, just like the Jerry Power Educational Scheme, it cannot take care of each and every person, and it's not everybody who wants to go to the tertiary institution. So we think that people are out there and they want to acquire some skills and vocation. So our intention is to bring these people on board for them to acquire some skills. And we are intending to start it. And we have a site which is called what? The Okpochu or Bannerman Park. The owners of the Bannerman Park say that, oh, before my dad's demise, he said, oh, he was going to use part of the facility for a real estate and the other part for what? An educational facility. We have discussed it with them. We want to start at least a 6-classroom block to start training people to become carpenters like Ago or Okpogas, to train people to become masons, to train people to become electricians, to train people to become caterers, to train people to have some sort of skill, so that they are not going to wait for John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, or Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo to be president, or Jerry to be a member of parliament before they say, oh, I have a job that is secure. We are believing that this is one of the steps. The other major step for us is that if you come to Ablekuma South, you have a lot of footballers.
Okay, quickly.
But these footballers, you know what happens? They cannot play football after maybe 40 years if you're playing professional football. So our intention there again is what? To start what we call the Mamprobi Soccer Academy. Just right opposite my house, we have the Mamprobi Girls' School. I've had friends. Stephen Appiah is one of my major friends. Anthony Bafo, who is the General Secretary of Professional Footballers Association of Ghana, is my best friend. He says that, listen, we are there to support you with the needed resources, as in mind, brains, and even physical resources. Stephen says that I've played for Fenerbahce. We can always go back there and secure what we call the AstroTurf. And we already have a school sitting there, which is the Millennium School. We can convert that Millennium School into a more modern school that is going to house soccer stars. And not only soccer stars, because you see, when you are no more playing football, you can become a physical instructor or a physical educator, or you can become a coach or a manager. So that if tomorrow you are playing and you have your leg broken, you can continue from there. This is the vision for Ablekuma South. All
right, I'm grateful. Lawyer Jerry Ahmed Saib is representing the NPP in the Ablekuma South constituency. Pastor Goodman Ba is representing the NDP in the same constituency. They're asking for your mandate ahead of December 7. Now, let's jump into the third leg of this conversation and let us link development of the constituency to the assembly. The constituency falls under the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Pastor Goodman, now, what has been the support of the assembly? And you are asking that you be made the member of parliament, which automatically qualifies you to be a member of the assembly. Now, what has been the support of the assembly in developing Ablekuma South, and how do you intend to rely on that to lobby for more development if given the mandate for the constituency?
Thank you. It's just unfortunate we having a chief executive in the capacity of Honorable Okovanda-Boy.
Yes, who is contesting on the ticket of the NDC.
He's been there for close to 8 years. It's just unfortunate nothing feasible or nothing practical has been seen within the Ablekuma South constituency. Just when he expressed the interest of contesting on the ticket of NDC as a party, we see him coming around and all that. It's not been there for a couple of years. And for now, that what I can confidently say is we as NDP, we have this idea of strong supervision, because after all, with the garbage collection, if there is a contract that is awarded to someone to collect the garbage, if on weekly basis, there are times the person did not show up, and it's just unfortunate. You see all those rubbish dumps, heaping up like mountain, and that is contributing to a whole lot of outbreak of cholera and all that. Mosquitoes breeding here and there. So we are saying that the problem is not necessarily getting the contractors to do the work, but it's also having a disciplinary committee that ensures that after the contractor is being awarded the contract to collect garbage, he does it according to the principle, or if on weekly basis, he's supposed to come and have it collected. And that is one thing I can say. It's a failure from the Accra Metropolitan Authority. We're not seeing anything seriously being done. So with NDP as a party, we would take an holistic approach to this whole thing, a balanced approach. What we're saying is, it all boils down to governance. And when you have a government operating with a sort of kwashiorkor administration, in other words, not balancing situation, all problems, especially concerning even garbage, can even surface or resurface anytime. Because it's like the post is being shifted on infrastructure, and the government is even moving away from other responsibility. Even a simple supervision of garbage collection is not being done. NDP is a party with certain level of discipline. And we are saying that when it comes to things like that, we will make sure discipline is instilled. And also, if a contractor is not doing that which is expected of him, then the best thing is to fire that contractor. So that is also an important thing that we're looking at.
All right. I'm grateful, Pastor Goodman Ba of the NDP, for your time there. Lawyer Jerry Shaib, now, your party is talking about change is coming. Now, in the constituency, you fall under the AMA. What has been the support of the AMA? And how do you intend to, when you become a member of parliament, to rely on that to speed up development in Ablekuma South?
But you can see that I'm smiling, but I'm crying within.
I see.
And I'll tell you why. I'm crying within because we have the mayor of Accra in the person of Honorable Okovandapoy, who has chaired the Metropolitan Assembly for close to 8 years. And guess what? He's had the most of resources. Most. And he's been a total failure. And I'll tell you why. It's not my interest to talk about him, but I'll tell you why it's a problem. Because for him, lording over 13 members of parliament, and to think that, okay, I'm no more interested in lording over these 13 members of parliament, because by virtue of his position, he has 13 members of parliament within the district of Accra.
Right.
To be their chairman. Guess what? And about 104 or so assembly members. Now, any member of parliament who wants to take or put up a project from the district assembly's common fund, you know who he goes to?
Right.
He goes to the Metropolitan Chief Executive. That is Honorable Alfredo Kuvandapo. There is a recent development. And guess what? I chanced on this development, which is a documentary from him, that he had gone to Rockefeller Foundation, which is presided by or headed by one Dr. Judith Rodin. He had applied somewhere in 2012 for some funding. And he had gone to these Rockefeller people to tell them, now listen, Accra, and especially Choco Kolegon and its environs is suffering from serious sanitation brutality. So what we can do for these people is to put sanitation in the best of shape. So amongst other things, I would want to put up a landing beach, a sea defense, clear all the garbage around the coastal area, move towards the Korle Lagoon, ensure that it's dredged, and that can even be used as an amusement center, just like the Ratri Park in Kumasi. And guess what? In April 2014, I am quoting this without any blemish. April 2014, in Singapore, 35 cities were selected as resilient cities. Accra, notably, was part of it. And they were $100 million, right, as I speak with you. $100 million was given to our Metropolitan Chief Executive for the development of these areas I'm talking about. As we speak, go to Choco. When you find time, pass through Chemwena. And when you have a little bit more time, go to the Korle Lagoon.
Your point is that you're not seeing any project?
Jesus Christ, project. What I see is filth and squalor. Death. People are dying of cholera and all malaria and all manner of things. And he's going to tell the people that yes, you have about 20 people dying out of cholera in about 30 to 40 minutes. And if this continues, oh, Ghana is going to, in fact, that part of Accra is going to come to a total extinction. And what do we see? Do you see a sea defense or a landing beach in Choco or Mamprobi or Kolegono?
The AMA is working on the Lavender Hill.
Oh, God.
Which should have been closed last month. We've been told that the Assembly is still working at closing it, even though the deadline was last month, September.
Right. There again, I'll give you another statistics. And this comes with money. Go find out what is all about the Conti project. Conti project. And how much money has been voted into the Conti project. That was money that they got as loan from Exim Bank. You
talk about project, the whole stretch of road
the Conti
from
project,
Lavender Hill through Choco Lante Mam has been asphalted.
That is even one of the deceptions that Honorable Alfredo Kovanapoe goes around throwing to the people of Choco and Kolegon and its environs. And then those who are respectfully not very much in the know on these things, they believe it. You know that the roads that are being fixed or resurfaced, that's the term. The roads that are being resurfaced is between the government of Ghana and the Brazilian government, which is Queiroz Gavao. That's the name of the company.
So it's not from the assembly. That's what you're saying.
It is not from any metropolitan assembly.
Let's wrap up before I go to Pastor.
Please, this is very crucial.
Would you rule out the fact that perhaps the assembly was involved in lobbying for it?
The assembly has not been involved in lobbying.
All right.
If you come to Teshi, the same project, is Teshi part of Accra Metropolitan Assembly? No, it's Lekma.
Okay.
If you come to Ladma, Laboni, just around my office, you see they are trying to do the same resurfacing. Is that part of Honorable Alfredo Kovanapoe's jurisdiction? So it's high time we try to educate the people. And that is why I always have a problem with the media people, that you should spend a little bit more time on educating people on these matters. Let them appreciate that, look, he is not the one. Look, even yesterday I went somewhere in Choco trying to canvass for votes. Then I spoke to a woman and she says, hey, Kapapale in here kotoku mishika ne gek ba figbe. E kotoku mishika. Surprise! Let the people know that Je ekotoku mishika.
Right. I'm grateful.
Wafe washikani.
I'm grateful.
Government of Ghana shikani.
Ahmed Saib is representing the New Patriotic Party in the Ablekuma South constituency. Pastor Goodman Ban is representing the NDP in the Ablekuma South constituency. Now we're beginning to wrap up.
Before you proceed, proceed, there's this question. Well, try and find out from our Honorable Alfredo Kovanapoe
briefly
that Shika Hengbayo, $100 million set from Rockefeller Foundation. Let me tell you, it's crucial. When I asked him this question on one of my night rallies, he went on to say that they should come and tell me he was using the money to asphalt the road. And you know that's not the case.
Well,
then he even proceeded with an insult and said to me, oh, Oceano, your man can be now, Makumofan, Mamma.
All right. Please, Van der Poel isn't here to answer.
He decided not to come because he knows I was coming to put this question to
him. All right. Just before we wrap up this morning, Ablekuma South constituency made up of it's a cosmopolitan, yes, cosmopolitan area, and I'm giving you the chance to speak in any local dialect, any local language, in just a minute. Tell the people why you are the best person for a constituency, why they should vote for you on December 7th to represent them in Parliament. Pasaban, you can start. 1 minute in any local language of your choice.
Ablekuma South B. Noni pe make peji. Esa ake wona ake shi noni ya no je no ni ba wawo. NDC money represent ole as ake free say it's a failure, total failure. Ni le AMA chief executive elenche for now the same policy ni NDC ni e fail no kwa ba e kenoko extraordinary ba no no wo nye keji NDP as a party ni wo mami Nana Konedu Ajiman Rolling say a year all the track record it's been there before, experiential knowledge is there no wa sumo koni ni bomoden ni voter ni ha NDP ni voter ni ha mi Pastor Goodman. It's not for nothing they were in Osofo for close to 20 years. The problem may be here, it is purely behavioral. Ni nyumba wiemo lenche e chak your suban no may be here ni NDC bia here ni bia ne shika mashimo shi suban basabasa e wo bodam fu e wa no nitana ke suban atwe shika atwe na ke twe ni nteno ni waga shi ame operate a kwashoko administration. I may shift focus only on infrastructure. Even with infrastructure, to whom more is given, more is expected. I may not be if you want to make a chuni. Ni no ni jenyo. Ka infrastructure doesn't mean that there should be high cost of living low. Aka yedi. Esa ni bomone sanjana no fian wete wen. Ni kamenye mami na memiefu ame akwa gashi odabi mi ne wesa na amemifu ameshi. Ame na ka afero da na kashi. There's a saying that a hungry man is a hungry man. No me pi miefu ame kenye. Expect now. I may operate with a balance. I may strike a balance with whatever they are doing.
Okay.
Because a dietitian will tell you that even diet lenje ko na balance to your detriment. Ni can be bio e bana kwashioko. No, NDC administration it is purely administratively kwashioko.
All right. Pastor Goodman Ban is representing the NDP in the Ablekuma South constituency. Lord Jerry Ahmed Shaib is representing the MPP. In 1 minute, you can speak to your people in any local language and tell them why you're the best person for the job.
The Constitution, the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana states, and I quote, says that Article 94(1), it says, subject to the provisions of this article, no person qualifies to be a member of parliament unless, first of all, he is a citizen of Ghana. It proceeds to say that must be a registered voter. And then the third one is that you must be 21 years and above. I have heard over and over and over again that the several bad campaigning by my opponent, that is Honorable Alfredo Kuvanda. Oh, manager mommy, I am a born, battered, fed, educated choco boy. I had all my education in Mampobi, Choco, Kolegono. Besides that, I am a citizen of Ghana. My grandfather is Ni Ahelenunu II, Ablekuma South. He was then the Secretary of Fisheries under the NLC regime. He was also then the Commissioner of Police. My grandmother, the late Regina Kushilamti, popularly known as Reko. You cannot tell me that someone with this, in fact, I'm a prince, I'm a royal. If you go beyond that, the second requirement is that you must be a registered voter. You see, even if you proceed further with regards to the same constitution, it says that anybody who wants to contest should have resided in the constituency in which he or she wants to contest 5 years prior to the election. I have stayed there from year 1 to 40 years. Year 1 to 40 years. My house address is S105. Now it has been changed to A705/3, Apia Street, Mamprobi. In Kenya no etabo, in Kenya shina, in Kenya tekeba. Constitution no call you 21 years and above of anyo demotion. Honorable Afedo Governor a campaign oh man gbeke ni chiche sako. Tafla take mo ko 40 years chiche sako gbeke ni lo. The parliament I have that day ejeme. Ye shiba mi. Aya ti macho. Parliament law I have ejeme. Ye shiba mi. Doji noni mi akase ye parliament. In akase ye law school. Awo mla aya kumo machu. Aya chesi wo mami mene na shika na ma oni e jalami. Aya yi ma bi na ba sisi ma ni bi ni be no ba na akete akenjajole me.
10 more seconds.
Noni afio e parliament no. Mi ke oblain ko ye 18 years na ka afedo governor po e jebu. E ya keke mini ta fla church chi esako. Wo ko chi esako ka fun shiki an ke bom. Eye mayor for 8 years and he's been the head of 13 members of parliament. He's running away from the Rockefeller Foundation. Now what be alake? Now you're president of Accra. They get small don. Eba you no colleague. Allo Bampobi. Allo New Bampobi. Allo Choko. Allo colleague.
I am.
You mole charge on you. Ni December 7th. Nye kaya ake. Nye ba fonshi ki ana na do danko akufado. Kemi. Nye bi. Nye nyanyo. Nye wekunyo. Ni njuo nye. Ni mba ni mama konye $100 million. Ke wukutukumi.
I am grateful. I am grateful. Lawyer Jerry Ahmed Shaib is representing the NPP. And Pastor Goodman Ba is representing the NDP in the Ablekuma South constituency. Gentlemen, another handshake to signify that unity ahead of the same.
That's why he's a pastor.
All right. We're grateful for your time too this morning. Those of you who watched us from your homes, we're grateful you also stayed with us. This is the Ablekuma South constituency. Wish you well, gentlemen, ahead of December 7th. We'll be with you and we hope to see you here after the elections. Grateful for your time.